Thank you. Uh, Hello, everyone. I'm Pankaj Rai. I'm Android developer and GD for Firebase. I also write articles on Medium about various topics of Android, Kotlin, and Firebase. And today I'm going to talk about how you can build a high-scale app with Firebase. So as I proceed towards how you can build a high-quality app, the first thing is what is Firebase and what it offers. So Firebase is a Google platform to build high quality app in short span of time. And it offers so many services. As you can see, it's divided into three categories: build, improve, and grow. All those services which are listed for build, like Cloud Firestore, ML authentication. So these are useful for adding core functionality in your Android or iOS application. Improve app quality like Crashlytics, performance monitoring. These are useful for checking out the quality of your app in real time. And grow your business is useful for the customers, like acquiring more customers, gaining insight about the customers, and increasing the user engagement. So today we'll see few of the services from each of these categories. Let's start with Cloud Firestore. The Cloud Firestore is a flexible and NoSQL cloud database by Firebase. Most of our application, either Android, iOS, or web, so that requires the backend database. So how about if you could develop the backend database without any backend developer? And Firestore is meant for that. It's a serverless and highly scalable. The prime reason why you should choose Cloud Firestore is it's available on all three platforms: Android, iOS, and web, as I said. And the SDK offers you out of the box capability. So you need not have to do much of the configuration directly at the SDK, initialize it, and use it. That's as straightforward as it sounds. The another better advantage with Cloud Firestore is that whatever services which you have seen for the Firebase, you can actually integrate all of them together using cloud functions. So for example, think of this use case where you are using Firebase authentication and a new user has signed up for your application. Now you want to write those details back to the Cloud Firestores. You can write a cloud function and this does that sort of work automatically for you. Or if you are uploading images and you want to create a thumbnail and write the link in the Cloud Firestore, again, Cloud Functions can do this for you. The best part for Cloud Firestore, which I like, is the offline capability, because we have apps. So we have Android app, we have iOS app, and if we need backend capability, so we just do not need those apps to work when we have internet connection, but we also want them to work when we do not have internet connection. And Cloud Firestores offer this by default. You will not have to write even a single bit of code to enable the offline capability. The structure of Cloud Firestore is a bit different. Unlike all other databases, here it's a bit different. It's a collection and document based structure where collection doesn't store any data, it only stores document. And document is a real place where you store all sort of data. Again, it's in JSON format, but the way it is shown on Firebase is like a key value pair. And we do not have any such restriction on the collection. You can have any number of documents, either it's one or a million, it doesn't matter. But we have a restriction for the size of document. It has to be 1 MB or maximum 20,000 entries. Another good thing which is extremely good for the enterprise application is the data. It offers two capability: multi-regional and regional data centers. So if you choose multi-regional data centers for your Cloud Firestore, your data, so the database data is maintained on multiple servers. So backup copy is maintained in case you lose data for because of any sort of reason, like server is going down or anything happens to the server, you still have a data because it is maintained on multiple servers. Real-time synchronization is a heart of real-time database. With real-time synchronization, what I mean is, say you have an app which is using Cloud Firestore for Android, iOS, and web, and now something has happened in the Android application, like some user has posted some content. It gets reflected to Android, iOS, and web, all connected device seamlessly without asking for the update once again. Like no pull to refresh now. You automatically get the data as soon as it is available. And this is how you can read or write data. So Code Firebase is a library which I built. The whole objective of this library is to reduce it to a single line of code. If you do not use this, then again, it's not a very huge amount of code which you have to write. You just have to initialize the Firestore, give the ID, and set the listeners. Here, you're just avoiding the listeners because you're getting data in the live data format. The important thing for Cloud Firestore is all about the collection and a document. So each collection and document has to be unique. So you have to maintain the ID for it. But the good thing is that for document ID, Firebase can do it automatically for you if you add without giving the document ID. Now let's talk about the trending topic, the machine learning. Firebase also offers machine learning capabilities. And the best part here is that you need not have to have even a bit of knowledge about machine learning. You can directly add the ML capabilities to your applications without having any information about it. Uh, it's having capabilities into three categories: vision, language, and custom. Language got added last year. Let's see each of them. So these are the ML capabilities which MLKit offers directly out of the box. Text recognition, face detection, barcode, image labeling. So out of all these things, except landmark recognition, you can use all of them using on-device machine learning also. There is a big difference between on-device machine learning and on-cloud machine learning. So if you are using on-device machine learning, the ML model gets downloaded on your device and inference or the prediction happens right in your own device. So because it is going on in your own device, so use it once time or a million time, it's completely free. But if you use on cloud machine learning, because you're using the cloud and it requires a good network and bandwidth and all those stuff, so you have to pay for it if you choose for the on cloud machine learning. But to a certain extent, it is again free. Language, as I said, it is available now for MLKit. The smart reply feature is something which I believe you might have seen. Many chat application nowadays use smart reply. Now you can add it to your application also. On device translations, if you want to build a application which can do on device translation, then on device translation API by MLKit is great for you. Language ID is something like, say, if you want to translate from one language to any other language, but what if you do not know which language that is? Say you are traveling to one country and you saw something written in the board, but you do not know which language that is. Just take a snap, use text recognition to extract text, use language ID to get the language out of it. Custom is an option where if none of these use case matches your requirement, then you still have two more options. With Auto ML Vision Edge, you can train your own image classification model right from the Firebase. And it's all through the console base on a button click. You'll not write even a bit of code for this. But if you already have your TensorFlow Lite model and you want to use it using Firebase, then you can bring it on, upload it on the Firebase, and use that model using the MLKit APIs. Okay, so this is how you could add text recognition capabilities to your Android application. And that's it. The entire amount of code is this much only. You need to have an image object. You can get it either from the bitmap or from file or even from the byte array. Pass on to the Firebase vision image because this will convert this image format to the machine understandable, the model understandable format, and then get the detector, Firebase vision detector, because we are using text detector, so we are using vision text detector. To this detector, pass on the image. That's it. And you have added the text recognition capability to your Android application. And same is true for the iOS also. So it's all about like 3 or 4 lines of code, and you add the ML capability to your application. And this is quite similar for all the ML capabilities which it offers. So this is how you could see how it works in reality. So it is using on-device machine learning. It's using text recognition from the live camera feed. It is recognizing text, and you could see the speed of it. It's not like it takes time to read the content. It's very fast. It's very optimal, and you could try it on with the live camera feed with no internet connection. One app which I built long back was the BT Scan, which do text recognition and barcode detection. So if you want to try it on by yourself, then you can download this app and try it on. Okay, so let's talk about the one of the very popular and highly used service, remote config. So remote config is one such service with which you can change the app appearance and behavior without publishing app once again to the Play Store, either for Android or iOS. And now it is available for web also. So last year it got enabled for web. Till now it was available for Android and iOS. What it does is that it maintains an exact copy of the key value pair at the local side and the server side. And as you update your key value pair from the server side, that gets overridden in your local Android or iOS application also. So by this way, you can control anything which depends on key value pair. For example, you can enable or disable certain features. You could do A/B testing, or you could change the theme of an application just by toggling the key value pair. The real testing begins when app goes live, and that's where Firebase app performance monitoring is useful for us. As soon as you add the performance monitoring SDK, it automatically gives you the insight about how app is working. For example, it gives you information about the memory usage, CPU usage, network latencies, the amount of time it is taking for rendering, and you can filter them based on countries also. So all sort of facilities you get just by adding the SDK without writing any even single line of code for this to enable or disable certain things. Uh, so before I conclude, the one thing which I could say is that Firebase offers lots of services which are highly scalable and gives much more quality and stability for your applications. You can try out any of the service, and most of the services are available for free version. To certain extent, it's available for free also. So try it out. And if you feel that's something which is really useful for the Firebase and which is missing, then do reach out to the Firebase support team so that they'll contact you about what the use case is, and who knows, you could see your requested feature on the Firebase. Thank you so much for attending this session. I hope this will be useful for you to know more about Firebase, and if you have any questions, then I'm open for it.
Thank you, Pankaj. This is so important, isn't it? Especially for enterprise and fast-growing startups to ensure that the apps that they're building are highly scalable and target, and especially for those targeted emerging markets. I love the bit where you mentioned that it's so easy to be able to make the app available offline without it being painful for both the users or the developer building it. So, without further ado, let's look at the questions from the audience. Here's one from Hassan.
Is Cloud Firestore stable or still in beta version? What are the total numbers of connection users allowed as of now?
Yes, so Cloud Firestore is completely in stable version, and it has also signed the SLA agreement. So with multi-regional data centers, you will get 99.999% accuracy, and with regional, you get 99.99% accuracy. Sorry, uptime. So 99.999% uptime for multi-regional data centers and 99.99% for the regional data centers. About the simultaneous connection, then there is certain limit. I'm not sure about it, but because of certain limitation, there is a certain limit for it also.
Then there is also another one coming in from YouTube. This is by Johnson. So he has used Firebase Analytics for his marketplace application. Do you have any suggestions on how he can configure the Firebase Analytics to support multi-tenants for app user analytics?
But one thing what I could say is that Firebase Analytics is getting added with much more features. So you could see the name also getting changed to Firebase Google Analytics. So there is some sort of integration which is going on with the Google Analytics. So certainly you could try it out.
So there is this one from Kenneth. What is the merge and override strategy for multi-device same record ID?
Okay, so if you have exact same record ID like collection ID and document ID and multiple users are writing it, then it all depends on the timestamp. So whoever has written those data at the end will be overwritten by the old data. Because as I said, it supports offline capability also. So it could be a case like four device or multiple devices are trying to push data to the server, but they are all offline. Now suddenly if all comes online, then this data will be written to the Cloud Firestore. So whichever was the last one, so based on the timestamp, it overrides all the existing one.
Yeah, so Glenn is asking, can Firebase Base be used in tandem with Map API, i.e. Firebase Store DB of geolocation?
Yes, so we do have a direct support for this, and there are some third-party tools for Firebase geo fencing type work. But if you do not want to use those third-party, you can certainly add. And instead of Cloud Firestore, what I could say is that go ahead with the real-time database for geolocations. So we do have a real-time database and Cloud Firestore, which is both functional, both are in stable version. The only thing is that with Cloud Firestore, it's all good if you want to say grow your database. But with geofencing, it's like you can increase the depth of it rather than increasing the width. So it's great to use real-time database in certain scenarios. It's all based on JSON structure, and it's much more faster than Cloud Firestore because of the underlying principles.